because Nicola stands head and shoulders above the opposition at Holyrood. She is working to improve the health of the nation. She is a true champion, a true health secretary, and a true human being of whom all of us can be very, very proud indeed. Well, friends, this party, this government, is working day in, day out to deliver for the people of Scotland. Our job is to make Scotland the country we know it can be. In good times, in bad times, that's our passion, our ambition, our focus. And friends, difficult times and difficult choices are coming. Now, I can't stand here today and promise there'll be no reduction in spending, there'll be no pain, that we can stop every cut. No one can promise that. Scotland will pay a price for Labour's recession. But what I can promise is that we'll do everything we can to minimise the cuts here at home and to make sure the right choices, not the wrong choices, are made. Senior salaries will be frozen. There will be no pay rises for SNP ministers. The number of quangos has been cut by 25%. We'll deliver a 50% reduction in the marketing budget, a 5% cut in government administration costs. There will be less spent on governing, less spent on PR, so more can be spent on delivering for the people of the country. Already this year, spending on government travel is down by a quarter. We have saved £300 million more than the £500 million savings target. And each and every penny saved is directed to jobs, to services, directly to our communities. Each and every penny that's saved helps us deliver those 1,000 more police in the streets of Scotland, the record low waiting times in our hospitals, the smaller class sizes, and of course the council tax freeze. Scotland will pay a price for Labour's recession. But what I can promise you today is that this party, this government, will work flat out to protect the services that really matter, to protect the front line, to put an emphasis on jobs and on training, to invest in the future. And that's why on Wednesday of this week, I was able to announce that this year we have met a hugely ambitious target for modern apprenticeships. And friends, we didn't just meet it, we did much better than that. Over the last year, this SNP government has delivered 20,000 apprenticeship places in Scotland, over 1,000 more than the original and very high target. That's an example of this government, this party, supporting the future of Scotland. Young Scots like Ryan MacDonald, whom I met on Wednesday, a young man who was made redundant last year. He was in danger of losing his chance in life. However, Ryan is back at work today because of a fantastic scheme called Adopt an Apprentice, which supports companies taking on apprentices who've been casualties of the recession during their apprenticeship. Friends, there are many, many more young men and women like Ryan who need our help, who need our support. We must do more. We will do more. And that's why I'm also announcing today that the SNP government is committing a further £15 million this year to provide 4,000 additional college places for young Scots. For just as the announcement on green energy is an investment in the natural resources of the country, so the announcement on college places is an investment in our most precious resource of all, the people, and particularly the young people of Scotland. Well, friends, we at least have learnt the lessons of the past. We will not let Labour's recession create a new lost generation as the Tory recession once did. This party, this government will not walk by. This is our pledge at Holyrood and at Westminster. Friends, we are showing in government in Scotland that there is another way. Labour or Tory, Tory or Labour, their talk is of cuts across the board. Cuts that will impact on health and education, on the police, on jobs, on economic recovery. Cuts to the things that matter. That is not Scotland's way. However, there are places, friends, where the axe could and should fall. What about the £100 million that's spent on the House of Lords? Delegates, don't you think we could save some of that? Indeed, don't you think we could save all of that? Or the £8 million that's spent of our money every year in the cost of the Scotland office. Indeed, it's now heading towards £10 million, having overrun its budget by a full 10%. Now, if John Swinney had overrun his budget by 10%, it would have cost the country £3 billion. If any local authority in Scotland were to overrun its budget by 10%, they'd be up before the Accounts Commission. This is a department in the Scotland office which does nothing at all but play politics and mismanage elections. I say, let's abolish the Scotland office and pay for 280 teachers or 300 nurses or 250 police officers. The Scotland office is a burden that Scotland can no longer afford. But that is not the end of the savings that we propose. How about the £5,000 million on the remnants of the ID card programme? Or the £4,000 million committed at present for deep geological storage of Britain's nuclear waste? And above all, friends, the obscene £100,000 million dedicated by Tory and Labour to replace the Trident system. Friends, that's at the very top of our target list. Because it follows that if we spend less on nuclear bombs, we can spend more on services. Not just our choice, but Scotland's choice. Friends, the threat posed to our nation, to our communities, is real and it's pressing. As a party in the weeks ahead, our job is clear. Because on polling day, more votes means more Nats. And more Nats means less cuts. That is the reality. And where there are savings, let them be where they should be. On nuclear bombs, but protect the services that matter to people. And with the people of Scotland, the power of the people of Scotland behind us, there is much that we can achieve in any parliamentary circumstance at Westminster. A balanced Parliament may be a difficulty for Westminster, but it presents an opportunity for Scotland. Scotland couldn't put the brakes, not on recovery, but on the Tory and Labour cuts programme. We can champion the issues that really matter, secure key concessions for the nation. The release of the near £200 million fossil fuel levy, Scotland's money lying idle in a London bank account. Fair connection charges for our generators in Scotland, a crucial issue if we are to capitalise on our vast green energy resources. Money that could and should be used to benefit the communities of Scotland. Or how about Scotland being the first phase of the high-speed rail network? London to Birmingham is nowhere near Scotland and nowhere near good enough for the people of Scotland. I've been seeking a guarantee, friends, on your behalf from the Free London parties that they won't try to tear up the budget that's been set by the Scottish Parliament for this coming year, and indeed by every local authority across Scotland. The answers have been less than clear. It seems that people are not wishing to specify before the election what their intent is to do after the election. Delegates, we can guarantee with the power of Scotland behind us, that there will be no budget cuts in Scotland next year, the coming year. The new cuts that Scotland's local authorities at COSLA described as potentially catastrophic. If Westminster is balanced on Scottish and Welsh votes, these things and many more could be secured.